Hey guys, it's me, AlanaRaihnTV, and welcome back to my channel. Guys, this is part 12 of how I went to prison for the first time and last time ever. Out the country at that. So guys, like I mentioned in the last episode, I am doing a giveaway. Woohoo! So make sure you guys enter the giveaway. If you guys have not entered, you guys still have a chance of entering and winning the giveaway. So the giveaway winner will be announced in episode 13. So in order to enter the giveaway, guys, all you got to do is subscribe to my channel, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at AlanaRain, and comment down below once you've done all those things. Screenshot me the proof, guys. Send the proof to my DM so I know that you've done all of those things. And with that being said, guys, let's get into the story time. Oh, let me mention, by the way, the giveaway. So the giveaway is going to be $50 because, you know, gas is high nowadays. I know it's not much. And it's going to be a custom hand-painted canvas, guys. So whoever wins the giveaway is going to be able to pick out whatever they want, and I'm going to custom hand-paint a canvas. All right, guys, with that being said, let's jump into episode 12. So I told you guys that I had just met Renisha, right? And that night, like I said, I was kind of like plotting like, oh, I'm finna see what's up with Renisha because Katie had a new friend on the wing. And the next day came and I ended up sitting on Renisha's lap or whatever. So me and the girls were catching up talking about it or whatever. So me and Renisha had ended up getting closer and closer and closer. So like the next day, I want to say we had went and sat on like a bench. It was like a picnic style bench, this one that we sat on, right? And so Renisha was kind of sitting up top on the table and I was sitting like on the bench part between her legs. So her legs are like open like this, and like my arms are like kind of like if you were at a football game with your boo type thing. So yeah, so we were just sitting like that, and then she had started like caressing my shoulder, like rubbing my shoulder. I was just like, this is okay. But anyways, like not in a bad way. But so she was doing that, and I guess a couple of her friends had walked by while she was doing that, and like they were like teasing her about it or whatever. And then she was like looking and like talking, and I was like, what? Like, what's that about? Like, why are they laughing or whatever? And then she was like, oh, they're just teasing me because like I'm doing that or whatever to your shoulder. Like, she's like, is that okay? And I was like, no, you're good. Like, you're good. Like, whatever. And then she's like, okay. So we stayed right there. We was chilling, getting to know each other better, whatever. So she had like, you remember how I showed you guys those free prints? So she had a thing of free prints like that she had pulled out, full of memes, guys, like literally full of memes. So like I guess her people would send her in like the most modern or in times memes or whatever, like, you know what I'm trying to say, like whatever's popping right now, her peoples will send her in those memes. So we're over here looking through the memes as if we're like scrolling through the timeline. It was like crazy. But yeah, so by the way, me and Katie, we were still cool. Like, you know, that was still my girl. We just weren't hanging out as much up on the wing or whatever. So yeah, so some time passed. Around this time, like I met Renisha like on like the 3rd month and some change of me being in prison. So around this time, let's fast forward a little bit to like 3 months and some change of me being in prison total. So it's like a month and some change of me being in this particular prison. So Renisha was a red band prisoner. So she had ended up basically like being in charge of like a lot of things that involved her being out of her cell. She was on the south side wing. So we'd only see each other when we go outside for exercise. And apparently before she had met me, I never really seen her like that because she wasn't really coming out like that. So after I met her or whatever, she would come out all the time so we could see each other and stuff like that. And then I remember she had mentioned that there was an upcoming mural project, because I believe there was one time I was in the library, because like I said, she worked in the library, and I heard her mention something about like this mural competition or mural thing that they had going on where they're going to do a mural in Seg, and they had basically actual painters coming through running a workshop in a class for maybe like a week or two. Maybe it was 3 weeks, but that's another story for like down the line. Anyways, she was in charge of like gathering the people who were going to be taken out of their cell for like, I think it was like an hour a day to discuss and give their ideas on what they wanted to see in the in the SEG mural. And down the line, we ended up getting them to agree for us all to help paint it as well. But I wasn't there for that. I ended up going home, which is a blessing in disguise. But anyways, yeah, so she was in charge of getting the committees together for that, right? So I basically was kind of convincing her to like sign up for it as well, so we could kind of like, you know, all me, her, Regina, everybody do that together or whatever. So she had basically told me that she was gonna bring me the paperwork to sign up for the thingy, and then like she wrote down all of our names who wanted to sign up or whatever, and then she was gonna bring us the paperwork for to sign up or whatever. So she ended up taking our names, signing us up and stuff, and then we had to do like a little form or whatever and sign ourselves up as well. And so I guess she was to pass out to us, I'd say like maybe like a week and a half later after we signed up for the mural. She was to pass out to us our movement slips, like our movement slips saying like, you know, we have a mural workshop at this time, and then we were able to go out of our cells at that time with these slips. So she had came to us during Fresh Air one time and was basically giving all the girls, basically like Regina and some of the other girls, Faith, their movement slips for the mural coming up. And she had mine, right? But she was like saving it because she was like, oh, I'm gonna come up to your she was like, oh, I'm gonna come up to your cell later on today to hand you guys your movement slips. So I think she kept mine and she kept Regina's, and she was gonna give us ours later. And I was just like, ooh, you better come up to the room. Like I was all excited or whatever. Alexis didn't sign up for it though, because she was like, girl, I cannot draw, whatever, That girl's so funny. So anyway, so we had ended up going up to our cell, you know, like a normal afternoon, and I'm over here like not contemplating, but I'm just like anticipating when Renisha was gonna come up there. So my room was already clean, you know, but I was getting it cute. I had my Febreze in there, y'all. I was Febreze in my room, getting my room all cute and together. And me and Alexis had came up with a plan. It's so funny, y'all. Me and Alexis had came up with a plan. Mind you, around this time, this is probably like a week and a half. Like I said, this is probably like a week and a half of me and Renisha kicking it, because we had started kicking it from day one of us meeting each other. Like, and the next day I sat on her lap. Like, let's be real, everything was expedited in there. So this is like a week and a half into us like kicking it, getting closer, flirty. Like we basically go together. Like that's how it was given, right? So me and Alexis was like formulating a plan, because I told her like, Renisha finna come up here later, girl. She finna come up here later. She was like, what? Da, 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 blah, blah. So I was like, girl, I don't know. Like, I low key wanna like give her a little kissy kiss. And then she was like, what, girl? This is crazy. Like, whatever, right? So the plan was planned down to the T, y'all. So what I told Alexis, right? I said, Alexis, you have to stay in the room with me, right? And so when she comes up here, what we're gonna do is, you're gonna be in the room. She's gonna come in and see us in the room. She's gonna be chatting to us. Oh, hey, da da da, whatever, ha ha. And then what did I say? I said something about the picture on the wall. Oh, I said I'm gonna talk to her about the pictures that are on my bulletin board or whatever, and my wall next to my bed. I was like, I'm gonna talk to her about those pictures, and I'm gonna be sitting right here leaning on the desk, you know, cause she a little shorter. That's on me. So I'm gonna be sitting here leaning on the desk, kind of eye level, while she's looking at my pictures. I want you to hit the lights, stand guard, like so like hecka dramatic, right? So Alexis kind of closed the door behind her, and she was not behind her like as if she left. Like Alexis was in the room still. She closed the door behind Renisha, so we're all three in the room. Alexis closed the door, and she's kind of like looking out of my window from the inside of the room though, making sure like no one's going by the door or whatever. And so Renisha's like looking at the pictures all distracted, and I'm over here getting ready. She don't even know. Why am I like this? This is crazy. Okay, so yeah, so I'm sitting over here like kind of leaning on the desk, and I'm just thinking in my head like this is going perfect to plan, like, you know, nothing can go wrong. So she's still looking at the pictures, and I told her, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, can I ask you something? And then she turned around to me and she looked at me. She was like, what? She was like, oh, she's like, yeah, like, what do you want to ask me or whatever? I was like, I wanted to know if like, I was like, I'm scared to ask. Like, she was so cute. I'm not gonna lie, she was cute. I was like, I just wanted to know if I can have a kiss. And she had on like glasses at the time, and so she was like, she looked all shocked. She must have took her glasses off. She like did the lick lip and just acted out. She came up to me all slow, like grabbed my face, and we just started kissing. And I was just like, wow, like it was just wild. And then like it was pretty quick, but in my head we was kissing. But and then she was just like, whoa, and we were just both like, so Alexis is laughing, and then like, so that was kind of that. Y'all, there was even another time where Renisha had came up there, and we was kicking in. Renisha was coming up there a lot, y'all. Renisha probably came to my room maybe like a total of like 10, 11, 12 times while I was there. Like one time we was in there chilling, I want to say Regina was in there with us, and yeah, like I was just sitting on Renisha's lap, just like real cutesy cuddling. We were just like, wow, just doing a lot. And then I just remember there's this one time, like, you know, we were listening to music and stuff, and then Katie had came in, cause like, you know, I said me and Katie are really close at that time, and so she had came in, I guess, to turn up the music because Katie can hear my music from next door. And so she came in to turn it up, obviously not expecting to see Renisha in here, because when Renisha would come up and come into my cell, she would like sneak up there. Like she wouldn't be like announcing her presence to everyone that was there. She would just come up and then like, you know, maybe say something to the guards, maybe one prisoner, then come into my cell, and then we'll close the door. So Katie walked in. Me and Renisha are sitting on the bed, and Katie's kind of beelining for the radio before she kind of noticed who was in the room. So she beelines for the radio, and she's like, "Oh, hey Renisha, I didn't know you were here. Cool. Hey, I was just coming to turn up the radio. All right. Well, bye." And I was like, "Oh, this is awkward." It was just funny because it was, like I said, it was like high school. It was like petty. Like nobody, obviously no one was in like relationships or anything. It was just more so like unspoken, like funny little drama. So that was that. I'm gonna be telling you guys a lot of little stories here and there moving forward that involved Renisha, because yeah, she's gonna come up a lot more in these stories. I do want to show you guys some stuff that she had ended up getting me, and I kind of want to show y'all the picture that she gave me. Is that too much? I don't care, because this is my channel and I'm doing it anyway. So yeah, you guys are gonna be able to put a face to the name. So y'all, let me emphasize to y'all how fast stuff and relationships move in prison, okay? So Regina and Cam were so locked in at this point. They were literally talking about, because Cam's from the UK, Regina's from Canada. Cam was literally talking about moving in with Regina when he got out, and she was serious about him moving in with her when she got out. And she was all about him, he was all about her. Like they was really, really locked in. Like it was crazy, y'all. Like we was trying to tell sis, like you know, but that was her relationship with him. And it was actually crazy because they being the prison, had ended up coming up to Regina one of these days when we were like 3 months and some change in, basically to offer her to go to this other prison. I believe was going to expedite her getting home, because fast forward, it ended up only being me and Regina towards the very end together, like out of everybody. So anyways, the prison officers ended up coming to Regina to tell her that she was going to be moving to this other prison. She didn't know why, but she just knew that we knew that it could, like, this prison that they were trying to move her to could potentially be like, they had more resources to help like foreign nationals get home and stuff like that, right? So it would have been in her favor to go there because she would have been able to leave out sooner or whatever, right? But she decided to refuse the move. So because she refused the move, her stay in prison ended up being not much longer, but a little bit longer than it would have been if she would have moved there. But she really did not want to leave Cam. If she was going to do the rest of her prison time here, she was going to literally, our early release dates were probably like a week apart from each other's. And so our windows of our early release date and our actual release date were the same. There was like a two month gap in between our early release, which would mean that we were in prison for 4 months, and then our actual release date would have been like we would be in prison for 6 months. So we meaning the girls, we were like, girl, like, you should have went or whatever, like, fuck Cam for real, like, you know, like, at the end of the day, like, you would have been able to go home sooner. She was like, girl, like, I would rather stay here to my actual release date with him. I wouldn't mind like staying here to my actual release date, because like at least I'm in here with him or whatever, da da da. We're like, oh, girl, wake up. We're trying to shake her. Like, girl, are you broken? What's going on? You getting institutionalized. You have life to go back home to, girl. Like, you tripping. Like, you tripping. So we giving her big sister talk, like trying to snap her out of it. Because, girl, you doing a little bit much now. So, now, guys, I want to switch subjects and get into something juicy. And I'm talking about juicy. So there was a fight with someone in my clique that you guys remember, and I'm gonna get into details. Just rock with me. I have to tell you guys, take you guys back to how this started. So the person I'm talking about who actually ended up getting in a fight physically, a physical fight with someone in this prison, guys, is Sonia. Sonia ended up getting into a fight, guys. Do you guys remember Sonia? Sonia was the one from New Orleans that in the first prison when I was with Kayla, we ended up meeting her, and she had ended up, she was just like by herself in the corner, and Kayla was like, I want to go talk to her. Like, yeah, that's Sonia, okay? So this all started over a t-shirt, and it's not just a t-shirt, guys. This snowballed like crazy. So let's take it back to where it started. So you guys remember Alexis, the cute Southern belle from Indianapolis? That was our girl. So she had ended up getting a care package sent in from her mom, right? And lots of t-shirts in there, long sleeve, short sleeve, v-necks, all that good stuff. So one of them, a couple of them, shall I say, were too small, way too small for Alexis, right? Now, Sonia, she's a petite model shape type girl, like 5'6". Yeah, so she had ended up giving the shirt to Sonia. I believe it was like a small or extra small shirt. Let's just say I think it was a small shirt, right? Small, long sleeve, white shirt. So Sonia had received the shirt, was grateful for it, thank you, you know. And then I want to say it was like maybe, if not the next day, it was the day after that. Sonia, you know, got dressed. She put on the white shirt. She looks really good in it because it's very fitting to her body. And so, yeah, she wore the shirt. She rocked the shirt. So now, we have laundry days, I'd say once a week. If you miss putting out your dirty clothes laundry, if you missed putting it out that morning for the people to take it, then you would have had to wait till next week. I think you had to put it out the night before. Yeah, you're supposed to put your laundry back out the night before, so the people that get unlocked to do laundry in the morning, they can have it, whatever have you, right? So Sonia, of course, you know, put her shirt in the laundry, and we have specific people that do the laundry. When they come to collect all of the laundry, sometimes we'll help them. We'll move the bags closer to the door, you know, help them out closer to the exit door to help them, you know, whatever, because all the bags are just outside of our cell doors, right? So there was this particular laundry lady named Angelica. And she was a real short, real skinny, petite black girl from, where did she say she was from? She was from the States, but I can't remember where she said she was from. She was probably like, I don't know, like, where was this girl from? She was from somewhere in the States. Just know that. She wasn't from like Cali or nothing like that. None of the major cities. I want to say she was from the South somewhere, right? So yeah, so the little laundry girl, Angelica, she had glasses, like, you know, slick back hair, ponytail, like she seemed like a little like a little ratchet, like however you want to say, like whatever, right? But that was Angelica, one of our laundry ladies. We didn't know her from a can of paint. She would hang out with these group of girls that involved Chloe. And Chloe was real close with this girl that I'm going to introduce named Georgia. And then they would hang out with a couple other like older like black ladies. So like we meaning me and my girls were kind of like the only really black group, like, or black clique in the prison from the States. And then Chloe and Georgia and all of them were like their black clique from the UK. Like that's kind of how it looked in the prison. But the girl Angelica, she was from the States though. She was there for the same reason why all of us were in here from the States. Apparently it's way popular than I could have ever imagined. So basically Sonia puts her shirt in the laundry. She puts her laundry out, goes on about her day, whatever. So she gets her laundry back that night and she realizes that her shirt is missing. And she's blowed about it because the shirt she was even talking about fits her so well. She's never had a shirt that fit her this well. So she was like, what the hell? Like, and that night she was not letting up. She went to everybody's room and was asking everybody who remotely looked close to her size, even if it looked like they were going to stretch into her shirt. She was asking, hey, can you check through your laundry to see if my shirt got mixed into the stuff? Check in there to see if my shirt got mixed into the stuff. Hey, did you happen to get a white shirt in your stuff? She was asking everybody, y'all. And it seemed like nobody had her shirt. So she had an officer go down to the laundry room to check over there, check in there. It was nothing. The officer came back up to her and said, yeah, no, we couldn't find anything. Sorry. And she just was not letting up. And I feel it because it's like her shirt, it has to be somewhere, right? So the next day comes and we're still trying to like think like, where's this shirt? Like, what's going on? So the next day, we go outside for fresh air. Of course, Sonia has this shirt on her mind still. She's like, you know, I want to talk to the laundry girls to see, like, where's my shirt? Like, where did they see my shirt, right? So Angelica and her people come outside, right? Y'all, why does Angelica have on the shirt? Why does she have on the shirt, y'all? And now this is the worst part because this is the part that kind of made it tough. Had she have just came out in the shirt, oh yes, on site, it's a problem, right? Because you're stealing, that would have been a problem, right? But no, she had on a black Nike. She had her shirt under. So basically she had on like her clothes, which was a black Nike suit. So black Nike sweatpants, black Nike hoodie, a zip up hoodie. So her hoodie was like half zipped, so you can see like kind of from the mid of the shirt up, and the shirt was a long sleeve white shirt, so we couldn't tell whether the white shirt that she was wearing was long sleeve or not. It just kind of looked like her shirt to me. So as I'm looking at Angelica coming out, Sonia's kind of in her own world, kind of like thinking about like who could have, you know, whatever, right? So I see Angelica and I'm the first inkling, even though I can only see like this much of her shirt, I'm like, why I feel like that's your shirt? Like, I feel like that's your shirt. Like, and then she looked and she was like, that do kind of look like my shirt, right? So Sonia walks over to Angelica and she's like, and mind you, as Sonia is walking over to Angelica, bro, why Angelica starts to zip up her shirt? Red flag number 2. So she starts to zip up her shirt. So Sonia was like, hey, like I lost my white shirt in the laundry when you guys came and got the laundry? Do you remember seeing it? She was like, oh no, did you have them check the laundry? And she was like, yes, I had them checked already. They checked twice already. You didn't see anything? And then Sonia like looking her up and down, like looking at her shirt, looking at her, looking at her shirt, looking at her. And then she's like, yeah, no, like, I didn't see anything, like da-da-da, whatever. And so we're like, she's like, okay, like, you know, and she was like, yeah, but I'll check again though. And she's like, that's not gonna do nothing because like they've already checked, but okay, whatever. She left it at that. So do you guys remember the character that I named Bianca, right? We met her in front of the foreign national lady at the last prison. She, the one who's also from Canada, okay? So she, is on the same floor as Angelica, Georgia, Chloe, all those other girls, right? So she's on the same floor as them. So I guess that same night, Angelica had ended up going upstairs, telling Bianca, out of all people, as if Bianca wasn't seen hanging out with us. But she goes and tells Bianca, oh, I'm gonna have to find your little friend Sonia another shirt. What? Not her shirt, not find her shirt. Find her another shirt? Huh? So when the next day rolls around, we get this information from Bianca. She's like, yeah, she told us like she's gonna have to find you another shirt or whatever, like basically insinuating that she has the shirt and she's gonna have to find her another one, whatever, kind of trying to little girl her in a sense, right? So Sonia had ended up telling the prison officer, Angelica has my shirt. You guys need to go in her room and get it before I trip. Simple as that. I forget at what time of day this was, but let's just say, oh, I do remember. It was kind of like towards the end of the night because we weren't outside no more. We already did our outside time or whatever. Bianca told us what she told us. We already had lunch. We already had dinner. So this was like our last final unlock hour. She's telling them like, you need to go like to get my shirt back because it's going to be like an issue if I know she has it. I know she has it. So the one officer had ended up going upstairs to Angelica's room, basically going in her room saying that, hey, we're getting word that you have something of another prisoner's, and if we go in here in your room and find this white shirt and it's not on your property, you're gonna get in a lot of trouble. So I advise, if you have it, to give it to us now. Tell me why this girl must have went into her dirty clothes basket and retrieved my girl's white shirt. You dirty bastard. Like, wow, like the audacity though. You knew you had it. You was wearing it the next day. Like, girl, you're bold. So she ends up getting the shirt taken from her. The officer took the shirt, and I believe she may or may not have still gotten in trouble off of that or whatever. And so basically they went downstairs and gave Sonia back her shirt. And then Sonia had ended up coming up to us telling us just what I told y'all. Like, y'all, I told the officer to go check her room. Y'all, why they come back with her shirt? Why they come back with my shirt? Like, and then so I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. I knew it. Like, I was like, I knew it. I knew that was the shirt, bro. Like, Sonia's a little bit bigger than her, but they're both very tiny girls. They both look like they could fit a size small. So I was like, it would be someone on the smaller side, but that was very bold of her to wear it the next day. If you're going to take it, girl, wow. So now Sonia has her shirt back. Oh, but Sonia's not done. She is not done. Sonia has it out now for Angelica. And we really underestimated what that looked like, because all we knew of Sonia was obviously she don't play. You know, she from NOLA. She don't play, but at the end of the day, she's a sweetheart. Like, so we only seen her laughing, a good time, very sweet girl. We didn't see no other side of her, right? We just know, well, we've seen the like she don't play side, but like respectfully though, right? So the day after all of this, so it's like what, day 3 now of this drama. I want to say, yeah, so we had went outside for fresh air, and now Sonia's calling out Angelica, like, where's Angelica? Angelica ain't been outside. Like, she ain't been coming outside because she hasn't been. It's like day, like I said, day. Well, okay, so let's just say, like, she put in her shirt in the laundry on Monday. Tuesday, she asked her about it. Wednesday, she got her shirt back, and then now we're on Thursday. And so Thursday, she's looking for Angelica, like, to come outside or whatever, but Angelica's nowhere to be found. Friday comes, Angelica's nowhere to be found. Saturday outside comes, Angelica's nowhere to be found. But on Saturday, Sonia comes outside and she's like, yo, Angelica's been hiding. Like, I ain't seen her outside since. Where's Angelica at? Where's Angelica at? And then somebody at our table was like, oh, I think it was Mikey. It was Mikey. She was like, oh, Angelica, she was like, oh, Angelica's down there at the tables by induction wing with all of her friends and stuff. And then we're like, Sonia was like, oh, yeah? Bet. And then so she stood up and started walking over there. So naturally, like, all of us stood up and started walking behind her. You feel me? So now we're all walking with Sonia to a table. I say it's probably like 7 of us and the table of like 6 girls that we're walking to, right? So we're walking deep to this table. They're all sitting at the round table. And right before, I'd say like maybe like two car lengths away from the table, me and all the girls had stopped to kind of let Sonia go do her thing. You know, we didn't all want to come push up on her, so we stopped and kind of let Sonia walk to the table. So Sonia walks over there and she's like, hey, Angelica. And then Angelica turns around. She's like, let me holler at you real quick. And so Angelica got up. She's like, okay. So Angelica got up, and then Sonia y'all, this is crazy. I really wish I can like recreate this, but basically picture this, right? So the girl Angelica, she turned around looking at Sonia, and she's like, all right. So she gets up, and they're shoulder to shoulder, and they start walking away from the table to talk. But as they're shoulder to shoulder, it's like, picture like a happy couple shoulder to shoulder holding hands, right? That's how close and straight that they're walking. But Sonia reaches her arm as if she was going to put her arm around her little brother or little sister that's walking side by side. She puts her arm around, but before it gets all the way around to her shoulder, she grabbed the girl ponytail. And it seemed like slow motion because they're still walking and talking while Sonia I'm talking about they took like at least 10 or 12 steps while Sonia has this girl's ponytail in her hand. So they're walking and talking. We can't hear what they're talking about. You just see them walking and talking, and then she grabs the ponytail. They still walking and talking. And then you just see Sonia slowly start to pull it back while they're talking. And she's pulling it back. And then the girl kind of like, the girl kind of like yanks her head away. And then Sonia mushed her face. Sonia like mushed her, and then you just see her like fly to the side, and then they just start chunking them. Like so boom, I gotta stand up for this, y'all. So the girl, she mushed the girl's face, and then the girl turned to swing at Sonia. Sonia said, Biggie, and then the girls over here, like, the girl's trying to fight back like this, boom, boom, and then you just see Sonia, boogie. So like Sonia was on her head, they just bow, and then me and all the girls was like, oh my gosh, because we did not expect that, bro. We literally thought Sonia was finna go over there and talk to the girl, have a conversation with the girl. We did not expect Sonia to thump this girl, right? So boom, they thumping. And they thumping for a little second before, I feel like, yeah, so the prisoners and her friends started to break it up before any of the guards had came over. So the guards finally come over and start separating it. They pick up Sonia, and the girl glasses done flew off by this time. And we just like, oh snap. So like the whole prison is like in the same area. So we all start migrating back over to C Wing, and we have to pass up the gym area to go back to C Wing. So we were migrating back over here. They already done picked up Sonia and carried her away. So now one of Angelica's friends was pressing Mikey, was like, Mikey, what was this about? What was that about? What was that about? What was it? Because I guess Mikey was there longer, so they knew Mikey longer. So it was pressing Mikey, was like, what was this about? What was that about? Like, Mikey's like, I don't know. Like, that's they stuff. Like, you know, like they were fighting over like whatever. That was they stuff. She was like, oh, well, you know something like da da da. What was that about? And Mikey was like, bro, get out my face, bro. And she was like, no, da da da. So the girl was, this other girl was all up in Mikey's face, right? So fast forward, we make it down now because we had walked away at that point. We start walking away. But this girl that was Angelica's friend or whatever, she's from the UK, by the way, mind you, one of the older black ladies that's in their little clique. So she's basically following behind us, talking shit or whatever, following behind us. So about time we got closer to like right in front of C Wing, and I'm talking about right in front of C Wing, like to where we would enter, where we used to sit. Like when we come out for fresh air, the tables we sit on, we right back in that area now. Like I could see Sonia's window from where we're standing, right? And I could literally see Sonia looking out the window. They had already put her back up in her room and locked her in her room at that point in her cell. So basically we had get right there, right? And then Mikey, for all we knew, had this long weave. Since she's been there, she's had this long wavy weave in her hair, right? Since she's been there, since we've met her, right? So we get right there and Mikey was like, man, so what you want to do? Like, I'm tired of you talking behind me. Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And then she looks at Sasha, because Sasha is right next to her. You know, that's one of our friends or whatever, right? So she rips off her wig. And when I tell you, bro, she got waves under there with not even waves, like wannabe waves, kind of like, like when you use a sponge type vibes, but very low buzz cut, dye blonde, tapered sides, barred up cut. I'm like, yo, what the? Let me find out she over here, a stud in disguise. Like, but she ripped off her wig. She was like, hold my wig to Sasha. Bro, everybody bust out laughing. You see Sonia in the window cracking up. Bro, she was like, so what you want to do? What you want to do? And then neither one of them wanted to fight for real because of the repercussions. But also, Mikey was getting ready to leave. So we was like, no, Mikey, don't do it, Mikey. Like, just be cool. Like, just fuck it, like it's not worth it, Mikey, like da da da. So so obviously they made fresh air way shorter than it would have been normally. They made everybody go upstairs or whatever. Everybody has to go upstairs and be on lockup. They would usually lock up the prison no matter what wing it was. So if we were in the induction wing and A wing and a fight would happen in C wing with people that we didn't even know, we'd all be on lockup because they were scared that it was going to be like a riot or something if they didn't. So we all had to go upstairs and be on lockup and stuff like that. And on our way upstairs though, we had went and stopped by Sonia's room, and we was like, yeah, Sonia, you whooped on her. We was like, Sonia, that was crazy. Like, we did not even expect that out of you. Like, we was all popping in her window and she was just talking. She was just like, yeah. We were like, are you okay, girl? She was like, yeah, I'm cool. She was like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Like, and like da 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 da. So they had ended up, fast forward, they had ended up taking Sonia to SEG. I believe her and Angelica had ended up having to go to SEG, and SEG is segregation, y'all. So she had ended up going to SEG for like 3 days. I want to say like 3 days she was in SEG. Felt so bad for my girl. We were really sad about our girl having to spend some days in SEG, guys. Like, we were sad when we were watching Orange is the New Black. It just didn't feel the same, like, without her. So we waited. We didn't watch any episodes when she was gone, y'all. So she had ended up coming back 3 days later, and she was like still like in the same clothes. Like, I felt so bad for my girl. Like, they did not let her shower while she was in there. They did not give her a canteen, no TV, nothing. And it was really messed up because all she was asking for was her clothes and stuff. They were like basically saying that she denied a shower, but she didn't deny a shower. They literally just didn't give her any of her stuff to shower. So she's like, how am I supposed to shower without like clean clothes and stuff like that? So that was really messed up on the prison's part. So I do want to change lanes back into Renisha, but to do that, I want to kind of segue while we're on topic of that other group of girls. So, you remember the Chloe girl that I told you about that was on the landing that ended up moving upstairs? So she had ended up no, so she was really close friends with the girl Georgia. Georgia, like I told you, their whole group was like black girls, just like ours was pretty much all black girls, like, you know. So I say that to say like just how they look, right? So Georgia, she seemed like she was like very quiet type girl, whatever. But basically there was a day where me, Renisha, and Faith were walking, I want to say to the gym, or we may have been walking towards induction wing for whatever reason. So I'm kind of like Faith and Renisha because we're talking, having a conversation, and Renisha and Faith are shoulder to shoulder. So out of nowhere, I guess Georgia and Chloe were coming from behind Renisha and Faith, and instead of walking around them, they literally, Georgia specifically, walked straight through them, like bumped through them, hella rude. And then it was me and Regina kind of facing Faith, like in a square, like, you know, we're having a conversation, slowly walking like that, right? So me and Renisha kind of looked at each other, or me and Regina looked at each other, and so we kind of separated a little because we like, you ain't finna bump me, bro. Like, I don't know what smoke y'all got going on, but you're not finna bump me, right? So we kind of moved it, and, you know, she kept walking. And then Faith was kind of just stood there shook, like, what the heck, bro? Like, I haven't talked to this girl in so long. Like, what was that about? And I guess Renisha had her own trying to stay away from them type vibes because of what, I don't know, like what she's already been through with them, and Renisha had to be there for a little bit longer, so she didn't want no problems with them for real. So she was just like, ugh, they're so annoying. And I'm just like, girl, y'all better than me. Y'all are so much better than me, baby, because that girl wouldn't have been able to keep walking. She would have walked past me and bumped, and she would have felt that y'all got coming right back. But let me show y'all what Renisha, the girl, my new prison bae number 2, let me show y'all what she looked like. By the way, y'all, these are some love notes that she wrote me. I was about to say love letters, but like, let's be real, what's love in prison? But yeah, so these are some letters that she wrote me that I might read y'all a couple of those later. But this is her, guys. This is my my little prison girlfriend. Yeah, that's all y'all get. So needless to say, guys, after Sonia had gotten a fight with Angelica, and, you know, the little bumping situation that went on with Renisha and Faith, those two groups, our two groups, were very divided. And Cam was kind of a part of our group because of Regina, but he was also a part of their group because that was the floor that he was on, so he talked to them often and stuff like that. So we were pretty divided, and that kind of caused an issue between Cam and Regina as well a little bit down the line. And we're gonna get into Regina and Cam's biggest fallout, but we're gonna save that for episode 13, guys. So you're gonna have to stay tuned to that episode. And I have some other stuff too that I want to mention in that episode, guys. Also, guys, we are going to be announcing the giveaway winner in episode 13, which is the next episode. So if you have not, you still have a little bit of time left, guys. Not much, but a little bit of time to go ahead and enter the giveaway, guys. You just have to subscribe to my channel, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at AlanaRain. And once you've done those things, guys, comment 3 times down below on this video, and you will literally be entered to the giveaway. Make sure you guys send me proof that you are following me on both Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to the channel, and you'll have a chance to win $50 plus a custom canvas painting of your choice. You can completely choose whatever you want, guys. So make sure you guys stay tuned for episode 13 and enter that giveaway. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, that's it for today. I'm gonna leave y'all for now. All right, guys. Bye.
Go trend, cut it, get it on film. 4 course meal, she ate up the dress. She wanna go through that, yeah.